Yenge, yenge. Kwisi Yambote, welcome to yet another teaching. I am the humble servant, Trey Mislaka nZolele, coming before you once again with some revelations that I'm allowed to break out some more things that I have been revealed to me. All praises to Tata nZambi and Pungu Tulendo, Akongo Yave. I am not a perfect man, but I am trying my best to be like my father, King Kongo, that the world thinks that they're actually praying to, but they're not. And I'm doing my best to fight the good fight, to bring back the sheep that was stolen, that the world doesn't even know was stolen, and explain the things that are happening and the defiance that has taken place that has made Tata nZambi say, well, so be it. The line is going to be drawn. All praises. To all of you, you are all welcome to be here. Not Bana Betu and non-Bana Betu. That was the whole intent of what our kingdom was supposed to be really doing. And this is what the argument was, is that Kuso Congo, the way that Tata nZambi was for us to be the head of the assemblies in which they were stolen. We're going to see, I'm going to talk about how that was done, how that was stolen. And they changed a lot of the translations to always say Christians, when Christians were actually the worshipers of the pig god, Jesus Christos, which is the name that was given to many of the pharaohs, and all of the leaders of Rome had carried this name, Jesus Christus, and that's why you see the Pope is called the Vicar of Christ, or but because the assumption is do you think that they're talking about the same Messiah when they're really not? Actually, all your presidents in secret and all the rulers carry the same name, because this was a name. Imhotep Christus was the name of Tammuz and Nimrod, which was, of course, Heru and Osiris deception. And so by coding it in these days, the Gentiles were not made aware of the switch throughout the ages, especially when Constantine came around. And this is why Rome had no peace and still has no peace to this day. This is why you see no peace happening in Christianity. And even though they say they're not supposed to be killing people, but yet they are, in the name of Jesus. And this is why they'll say, oh, well, if I get orders from my government, or if I do my job as a law enforcement officer. But what they don't understand is the society that has been created since before 1776 was really a delusion. Okay, we're going to get into that, because they could not tell you that they were going to be refashioning what they have always been planning since the flood, when Tata nZambi destroyed the cities of Cain, that they were coming back for vengeance, because those lands were really given, those were the choice lands, and those were given over to Nsemu, Shem, because he was the righteous of Noka, and the other brothers were slighted, okay, because first Kama, because of what happened, his son was bewitched, and he started to do some things. And of course, because some of the giants didn't die in the flood, as people don't even know, they started to cause havoc on the creatures again. That's why the Most High went to Noka. So he knew what was going on, but he wanted to see if he would answer correctly, because some of his children were started to interact with these creatures, and he wanted to say, okay, these people are there. That's why you gotta be careful when the Most High is coming to you. Don't ever think he's an idiot. He knows what's going on before you even ask. So no, I guess Noka was not aware, but the Most High was aware that some of his children had started to worship false gods. So he said, well, it's none of my children. He said, well, no. He says, these other children that are coming to entice us. So he knew, but see, it's the same game, just like the garden. Okay, you got to have accountability for your action. So if it's them, then why are you listening to them? Okay. And that's how things got worse and how everything got changed and why the scriptures have been altered to not even it's not it's theirs, but not ours. And many names have been changed. You know, I use the names that we know because I'm speaking in English and I can do the Kikongo Bible today. I think I'm gonna do that for the one I read about the Galatians the last time, how he probably would have said it. But you know, our people don't understand that many deceptions have occurred, and because of the fact that the Nkanda of nZambi, which we call the Bible today, has been manipulated by so many different people and misinterpreted in so many different ways that the world has convinced that they have the truth. But in reality, they have watered down scriptures of Bantu culture. And the Bakongo, the Benanzambi, the Bana Isolele were always supposed to be the ones to run the assemblies, to be the ones to teach the world the way of the Most High. And of course, we always would mess up because we'd allowed ourselves to make mistakes and listen to false spirits, and we would become a family of violence against one another. And because of that, they've always used this against us, you know. So Yosua, which what they want to call Yeshua or Yesaya, Yesway, because there's different ways to say it, became Jesus because they took the name, but it was Yesu was what we called him because we knew Jesus was the imposter that came way before, that they were saying he was Messiah, but they didn't say it right. And he was killed by the pig, and he was a okay, so this is where they get all this stuff about was Jesus gay. Nimrod and his son were cross-dressers, so they were doing wicked things among their people. This is what a lot of their when they're doing a lot of their rituals. It just goes back all the way to the Moloch worship of Canaan, people doing debauchery with animals and people and all these other things. And it was incorporated into the Babylonian practices of the worship of these false gods, that they would request them to do things that were very, very bad. And this is what caused them to be under the delusion to go think that they could destroy the Most High when they came together, because they were enticed by these false spirits, going back to the first woman deceiver that they took out. And then the fallen angels who were involved with their pacts, they took that out because they didn't want people to understand, no, you're living in the days of Noka already, but we're making you think that you're going to be the ones to be saved. When really they hijacked the truth. So they hijacked and they stole the bride from the Most High, just like what happened in the days of Noka when they stole the children of Seth, who was at that time the chosen people of Tata nZambi. And they caused them to do a lot of wicked things, but made them still believe that they were talking to the real creator like they are now. And that's why the world doesn't get it. But see, the problem is that when they did the mockery of Alice in Wonderland, they were showing you that when Alice went down the rabbit hole, she was the only sane one and everybody else was crazy. Okay, so that's what those of us who see, because of the Manda and the delusions of what the world this is who we are. We're like her, because I know what she really represented in this. And she was put to sleep. Remember, she was in a trance and she was sleeping. And it was, wake up, you know, wake up. You're in wonder, you know, you're crazy. This is what that part is referring to with the watch. Okay, this is the wake up call because we are the spirit, but they made it a white woman because you know how it was back in those days in the 60s. Everything had to be whitewashed, you know. So it was really representing us going down this rabbit hole with all the other people who were in a land of craziness, land of confusion. That was the way they were showing you Babylon. And the queen of hearts off with their head, and the deposed queen are really Lilith and Nimrod or Ishtar. So they're showing you that's why they had the chessboard, and they were showing you there was a game being played in this thing because there's a game going on between Tata nZambi and Shaitani about who's supposed to be running the world. And we all have players in this, and there's several chess games going on because there's a chess game going against all the other nations that are fighting each other, like how the Most High ordained it back in the book of Hanok, where they would kill each other because he said the offspring of the fallen angels have to be destroyed, including the ones, the made up ones, the more hybrid ones, and only his people were supposed to be in charge, and that's how you could receive your salvation. Well, they flipped it, and that's what they're trying to show you. Oh, the world went crazy, but we're the only the people who are going to be woke are the only sane ones, or everybody else think that they're not crazy. And that's why they coded a lot of this stuff throughout the histories to show the sheeple, hey, we played you, okay? And that's why now people don't get it, is that they have been played. Many people are getting it, but the people who don't get it, they're going to stay there, okay? And that's why they don't understand, you know, with all the things that are happening, like I said, as long as the Most High continue, he's doing the same concept, hardening these Pharaohs' hearts. We're not going to give up. We're going to keep standing in defiance. Our people who don't realize that you're in Egypt and you're electing these Pharaohs all over the world, okay? And that's why I really believe why things are starting to happen now is because they're starting to catch on. Hey, you guys are Pharaohs. That's what's going on in France and everything. And we didn't know that. And so that's what they can't tell the world. No, these guys are Pharaohs and see all the bad things. That's why Huswa Kongo, when he talks about I'm throwing the world into tribulation, and I'll get to that scripture, where he's talking about um, those who continue to follow the harlot spirit will be put into tribulation. But see, what they did is they took that and they took what Paul, they reversed, because Paul was talking about Hanok and his tribulation when he said we will not all be changed, but we will become once again returned to the Father. Okay. Now the whole caught up in the air thing, to me, and this is just my perspective, I'm not going to say, and this is kind of the revelation that I'm getting, is that this is a mistranslation of the Kikongo, because there's going to be a change and people are going to become different, but the gathering will take place in a way that people are going to see. But this was to bring, I think that to me, this was to get the Christians to get into this tribulation, rapture, second coming mindset that you're going to be beaming me up, Scotty, to the Messiah. Because they wanted the world, this is where I really think that they were going to that process of making the Gentiles think that they and their heathen practices were going to be okay, you know, because but see, the real interpretation was put in the Wizard of Oz, and people don't understand that. And it's because we have to be removed of, because see that's why I know they altered Paul's teachings, because they knew that we were going to be in a captivity. So they wanted the people who didn't know that to believe in what they're teaching, that the change that has to happen is from us being separated from the worldly influences that have caused us to be different. Like, you know, how they took us into captivity and they made us into what they wanted us to be, and they forced us into thinking the way they think. Now you got to undo that. The Most High has to come and he has to purify that and say, get out of that. Okay. And that's when I truly think that when Rome was trying to make themselves the church and not the Bantu people who should be running it, this is where a lot of these translations started to take Paul's teachings and manipulate them because of the fact that Simon the sorcerer and of course other people and all the other Wiccans and sorcery that got involved, and the high priestess and stuff that became leaders of the church were not wanting the people to know that we played you. This is not where it's going to happen, but it's going to be something more like the second Exodus. Okay. So for me, you know, I'm not going to lean on my own understanding, but, you know, if it's going to be a second Exodus, it's going to be more something along those lines. And so that's what he really meant when he said the Hanukkah. He was using the Hanukkah tribulation, and then they changed it to fit what they were expecting. Okay. So that's why they did this whole left behind thing that I know they did, and it's all a mind control deception of the harlot deceiver, manipulating, because remember, like I said, they have foresight of the future things to come, but just they don't know their day of their demise. They were expecting these things to play out, and they tried to put traps, okay, ahead of it. Okay. Excuse me, but we'll get more into that. I want to give all praises to nZambi, Bayete, nKosi, Kemba, hallelujah. Kwanzaa Nzinga, Tata nZambi, Pungu Father, Matoni Musakla for this day. Matoni Musakla for what you were doing for your people. I pray Tata nZambi that people will wicked you out to what needs to be said, and that this oneness will flow, and that Kuswa Congo and all the Maliki Congo and all of those in the Pemba Kalunga Yenge will be a part of this today to help our people understand the things that were done. Akombe bene yabe Congo, Yangi Ken of the Pemba Kalunga, Assalamu alaikum Congo, hallelujah, Kembo. All right. I'm going to play the song. Again, I don't own the rights to it. I hope you can hear it this time. People have been talking about that, and like I keep saying, it is kind of weird now, and it didn't used to be like that. And that's what makes me say either something is wrong with my computer, but see, I'm talking, okay, but you're not having problems with that. But then the music comes on, and it's like there's a spiritual thing that I'm hoping that will start to be blocked. And I hope that the zombie will block it, because the music, because how we sing, that's how we really connect. Because everything has always been about singing. And the world doesn't understand that that's what we always did. And that's why we sang so much, and why we do sing so much, and why we're always singing, because that spirit is meant to do that, to sing to the Most High. And they try to catch on in their way, but their frequencies were different. And that's part of the reason why they think that they're doing it, but they're not, because the devil was, of course, part of the music even before. They don't understand that the entertainment industry that you're seeing today, because they gave you this false evolutionary history that these people created, because people don't know Darwin was a Satanist, okay, but they don't tell you that. And so was Aristotle, and a lot of these other people were devil worshippers, and they were worshiping false gods who were giving them these interpretations of what was the days of Noka. And so that's why even when I look at when they talk about, this guy was talking about how many times we've been out of Africa, they put this 1.5 million. Well, that 1.5 is a 6. So he's telling you a lie about the ages. That's why you have to know that nZambi will tell you how old the earth is, how old the angels are, how, you'll get the revelations of that, because they want to hide the fact that the first group of Neanderthals were Cain seed, where the Most High rejected all of them and said, I'm not dealing with your family at all. So they had to go fend for themselves, and that's when the fallen angels got involved with them, and they reversed the story on Noka, on the false movie. That was the first group of Neanderthals, and that's why they treat the lineage of Seth like apes who have evolved. And then, of course, the lying Anunnaki keep telling stupid stories about what they did. They did make mixed creatures of people, but not the way that the Most High did it. And then you have the deception that happened after with Gog and Magog. That's the second group of Neanderthal who also were mixed in with other people who sinned against the Most High, like the children of Japhet, who were forced to be kicked into the caves for what they were doing because they started creating turmoil and whatnot. So they got banished. And so now the whole club thing, and I'm going to talk about that, this whole club thing is reverting back to when they had to live by the club. And that's why you're not in it if you don't know what's going on. And they had to fight and fend for themselves and hit each other with clubs and everything. And that's why, and they fought over women and they fought over food. And that's why you have to sing for your supper nowadays, because they want you to beg like they had to beg, and they had to, and they reversed it all, because of what happened. But anyway, and that's why they hate all their enemies, because they were always fighting everybody. So now when they got the stolen bride, they used that to their advantage to continue to dumb down people and do some horrific things that people don't even know will soon come out. But the world's starting to come out of this. See, they're coming out of the spell and they're getting angry because they say, well, you lied, but then they still have the control of certain things, which will soon end, that will soon put them into the light. When the Tata nZambi brings out the real scriptures, that's when they're going to see that everybody was lying, because the real scriptures will come out and they're going to say, okay, we all been, that's what's going to make everybody naked, like Adama and Nok and Eva, where it's like, oh, you see my sin. Oh, everybody sees my sin. Okay. And that's going to be something that people will soon experience, because I've actually had somebody testify that was something that they saw anyway. All right. So let me get to, see, the word that they used. See, is Kwabisi Ngalatia is what he would have said, not Galatians, but that's not ours. Like we said, we know it's not ours. It was Kwabisi Ngalatia. We're going to read it in Kikongo today. Let me see if I can find it. I'll share my screen in a minute once I get there. One second here. See, like it's Kwabisi Loma. That's Romans. That's how he would have said Kwabisi Loma. So a lot of people, they don't understand that this is how we would have been talking. No, I went too far. Thank you. Jumping. Okay. Well, while I'm doing this, let me put the song on, and then we'll get started. Like I said, I don't own the rights. I don't own any of the uh, copyrights. I'm not here to make money off it. This is purely for uh, edification only. And that Caribbean beat. This is how we would really praise the Creator and the Most High. This is our music for the original people, the chosen ones. See, when you hear that, that's the Caribbean thing. Umba is where you get the word Psalms from. Oh, that's why. Okay. I guess it must have been caught up. I think I hit the pause button. Hallelujah. Kembo na nZambi Congo. Bayete nKosi. Bayete nKosi. Bayete. Wikijila. Makanda. Please listen to me, family. Once again, Kupisi Mbote, Luciemi, Away Luciemi, Salama, Dumalang, Mbote. We are going to get deep, a little bit deeper today. Actually, I did already pull up that scripture. I forgot. Okay, so this would have been, so the thing that people don't understand in this world with the bewitching is that when Paula would have been talking to these people, the language he would have been speaking would have had to have been able to be understood by the people he was talking to. Okay, he said, "Do I speak in tongues and all this?" Okay, the Mwana would have been present, of course, with him. And the false interpretation of the world is everybody thinks that his language was Aramaic, that he was speaking Aramaic, Syriac Aramaic, or whatever, at that time, or that he was speaking in Greek or Greco-Roman, which of course were languages that people would have known. But you have to understand, because history is altered by the imposters, they're not telling you about the whole trade time that this was. And they've hidden the fact because they wanted to keep the world asleep, is they keep teaching that Rome never went deep into Africa when it was Constantine and other people who erased this history. Because they're going to keep teaching this, because anybody who teaches is contrary is always in trouble. They're going to keep teaching that Rome never came to the Americas. They're going to keep teaching these different things, because if they deviate, then it changes what they have taught the Americans about their history. This is why when I speak to a lot of Europeans, they say Americans are idiots because they don't know their real history. Well, yeah, they did that on purpose, because they wanted the people to think that they did this, that they created everything, that they did all the things here in America, and no one else was here, and no one else had the knowledge, and no one knew anything like they did, when it was all a rouge. Because, see, they who ran the system couldn't tell you that there was an ulterior agenda, completely different than what was portrayed. That's why many of the wars that were fought with the Europeans were, how should I say this, instigated on purpose. And the history books are meant to deviate from that, so you wouldn't pick up on the fact that all of these people were working for the fallen angels. Every last one of them. Okay? And that the fallen angels were involved. okay? Because they can't tell the Christians, oh yeah, our religion, the Church of England and Rome and the Church of France, oh, we were working with the fallen angels all along. They can't tell them that, because then they're going to say, wait a minute, then that means we were serving the devil, okay? But see, the problem is when you have people bewitched or put in trances or sorcery, because there was a lot of sorcery going on that people don't get. That's why when you go look at the true story that they were, when they were portraying the time of Alexander the seventh and the Borgias, that it was a wild time and it was a very wicked time in the Vatican, in Rome, when these people were cutthroat. I mean, like cutthroat, okay, killing people to be in power. And the problem is, do you think the image got cleaned up just because now we're in a modern society? And that's the furthest, that is the biggest deception. They just took it from being on the surface to going underground. And so that's why, because it's now in the underground, as they like to mock it, you don't see what was always there, because a veil has been put in front of you so that you don't catch it. And that's why when it comes to what is going on with Black people here in America, especially, is many people know the connection between us and Africa, but they keep their mouth shut for survival. Okay? So it's like your grandma, because see, in slavery, there were groups of slaves that made pacts that they would find a way to maintain the knowledge that they were trying to strip from them. So they would always find a way to put it in places where they knew Master couldn't find it, okay? And or code it so Master couldn't read it, because Master didn't know it, okay? So that the lineage would still have some connection, so that when this awakening occurred, there would be people who would say, oh yeah, grandma used to talk about that, great grandma, but she used to tell me, shh, okay? This is what people don't get. It isn't like there's people around the world that didn't know these things. It's just that we don't talk because we don't want to die, okay? But then the rest of us are just going along with it because they were conditioned to keep people's mouths shut out of survival, and everybody else just became oblivious. That's why the smarter people who knew things were meant to stay away from the people they call the dummies, because this is how they stop revolts from happening. That's why they turn people against each other. That's why they made it to where we didn't know things, okay? We knew where the Most High was. We knew these different things. That's why when I've had conversations with family members, they're like, we know, but we don't talk about it, okay? Because see, that's where you get yourself, this is why it's, for me especially, when you go against the hand that feeds you, this is what we learned, you get cut off, okay? Excuse me. Now, there are those who are Europeans that they have been conditioned to know that. I want to keep the gravy train rolling, so I keep my mouth shut and go along with the game plan, okay? Or I will fight for you. And see, what you will find out is those that continue to fight against the hand that feeds them, these are the people you usually find living in places where they're like, they don't get anything. Okay, they look like they're living in bums or whatever, okay? Because they have said, we know this is a lie. But see, the system is designed where you don't do what we say, you don't get nothing, okay? And that's kind of why, this has evolved through the process of how they have modified things. Because we were the guinea pigs. in slavery to how they advanced their medical sciences. They used to take us as cadaver dogs. That's why they talk about cadaver dogs, okay? This comes from the chasing of the slave to find, to they teach them to find dead slaves, or whatever, if we were dead, or cadaver dogs come from that time frame when they trained the dogs to go find the runaway slaves. Okay, and so we became the science that advanced the medical industry. But this is what they cover it up, because they don't want, this is why they don't want this history taught, because they know, okay? Everything was about intimidation. Keep your mouth shut or we lynch you. Keep your mouth shut or you're going to get killed. Keep your mouth shut. Everything was about keep your mouth shut. We know, but keep your mouth shut, okay? Don't ask no question. Just do what you're told. This is how the survival mechanism was put into place to get us to the end of the 400 years, so that when the time would come, we could speak. But the problem is, many people are not going to do what Bob Marley says, because they're not going to. They're never going to leave Master's house. They're going to stay in the house that's burning, like King said, and not be the powder, and stay in the powder keg that's going to blow up. That Malcolm said, get them out of the powder keg. You're about to have a powder keg. Well, this is where the pacification process took place, because the powder keg started to boil over with the Black Panthers, okay? The powder keg started to become a big problem, so they had to do something about it. They said, okay, we're going to do something about these Messiah figures. And of course, this is during the time that Toko and Kimbango, Toko well, he had already passed, but Kimbango had passed, and Toko was leading his, awakening in Angola. And there were leaders over here who were aware of him, but they were in the club. So they had to keep their mouth shut, but they coded it. And that's why some of them got shot, okay? The others said, oh, well, we ain't going to get shot, okay? This is it. We're going to make y'all behave, see? And see, the problem with our societies today is many of the conflicts were intentionally created. Like when you go and look at Section 8 housing, when you go and look at all these inner city buildings that they built and all of these things that they did, they pushed us into these so that they could turn it into a slum. People don't understand that. We were okay. We had people out in the farms eating the good food and whatnot, and they're like, no, they got to get into these places. And they used the Klan as the tactic, force them into these cities where we can really billy club their head over, okay? The billy club that the police officers use goes all the way back to when they were living in those caves. Beat you over the head with this club. Play with the golf club. You in the club, okay? Because they're putting you to sleep by knocking you over the head to your obedience, okay? This is what the world doesn't understand. They're clubbing everybody. Like they used to do when they clubbed the woman, they clubbed the man. I'm dizzy with the stars. They even put it in the cartoons when you see the Tweety birds. Okay? They know that this was the intent of what they wanted to do, because they work for the crazy, wicked gods who are always hungry and never satisfied. This is where they get it from. Never be satisfied. We want more. We want more. We want more. Okay? They don't ever get satisfied. That's why we say we battle against flesh and blood, or not flesh and blood, but spirits. Shaitani's people with demons are never satisfied. We want more, we want more, we want more. Give me, give me, give me, give me, give me, feed me. Okay, feed the beast. That's where it comes from. Okay. This concept is done by not allowing things to be known. That's why when Rome had the Bible, they read it to them. You didn't get to read it, we read it to you. When they had conflicts with us who were there, we argued, they were torturing us. Okay, this started when the whole concept with Nero. And see, when they made the testament, Peter and Paul, they substituted Baklistu or Jews, the Bantubendwe, with the word Jew, when really that's who was arguing with the Gentiles about what they were doing with their pagan practices, because they said we're not supposed to be doing these things. Okay. Now, of course, they make it to where Paola was like, hey, we're supposed to be on the same side here. But it's like, hey, but you got to remember, and we can't do this kind of stuff. But then you also had our Malewi who were saying, well, no, we are the law. Okay. So there was a lot of stuff going on with this. And then you had the converse, the Rome was still fighting with them. And what the world doesn't get is that, contrary to what you know, this resulted in another captivity years later, because we were not going to be in agreement with Rome, but they were never going to let us take over the church. So then when the Most High caused us to be regathered, that we now know to understand that this history they hid, we got back together. They were like, no, we can sense by people who were running, because see, they're not telling the full truth about the history. Because Islam was fighting with Rome, and they knew where we were. They were getting the notification, these guys have now regathered. Okay. And because the devil was still allowing us to have that conflict about who's running the show, okay, and we argued, we knew at that point we were going back into captivity, because in our reality, we hadn't fulfilled the scriptures yet. And they knew it. But the other part is, we never learned to not do the ways of the heathen. We always want to be like them and not like the Most High's way. And see, the problem was when the Most High would dictate to us, okay, this is how things are going to go. When you argue against him and say no, he's going to say, okay, well, then you can't be here. So this is where he said, let the Muslims have you, then let the Christians have you. Okay? Because the reality is, Christianity didn't know that they're talking to Osiris, because Rome did not tell them that. And when they made the problem was, when they did the protest, they thought that they fixed that problem, and it didn't. It got worse. But they didn't see that, because see, it was never about salvation when it came to what Rome was doing. Rome had a totally different agenda. The church had a totally different agenda than what they were telling people. So everybody that they brought into the church was working towards the underlying plan to destroy Tata nZambi, to destroy the sheep, and to recruit anybody that they can possibly recruit. Okay, and all the other nations who had knowledge of us, they had a connection to this. Okay, see, when they show you these movies on TV and you watch these things, take them with a grain of salt, always, because they knew who we were. All of these nations that the Most High defeated, they knew who we were. Okay? They make it look like, because the way that they're playing out the imposters and the way that they do these things, they're making it look like there was a transition between, oh, we became spiritual Israel and they became rejected. When the reality was the converts were never accepted by the Most High. That's why Kusa Kongo got upset. He said, you're teaching the children how to disobey the Most High. And they didn't like that because they were profiting. See, anytime they because they knew the history of when they were the Hittites and the Edomites, and when they were these things, they knew that when we were in a captivity, these nations got profited, like Egypt. That's why Egypt was like, y'all ain't going nowhere because we making some money off of you. Okay? So now, what the world is not understanding is you are living in the biggest repeat where the Most High has said, you don't want to do what I want to do, so get away from me. But they covered it up because they knew the agenda all along was to restore the world to the status that it was before the flood. However, because the devil was given a time to rule, and they know that, but they can't tell you, oh yeah, you worship Satan and this and that. They'll never say that. They'll never say that. Because then the whole thing collapses. If the world understood that they worship the devil, they would go crazy. And it's going to happen. Okay? That's why when people like me are telling people this, that's a crazy guy. There's no way. I've seen these type of things happen in my family and this and that. I've seen miracles because they don't understand spirituality. They only see carnality. So they don't know how spirits work and how they can manipulate things. They don't grasp the concept that the devil will act like he's good to make you do bad, so that you get the Most High angry, so that the wrath is always upon you. And they have known this, okay? The wrath is always upon you because you took the bread from the children. They used you to take the bread from the children, and you're not giving it back the right way. And you're being stingy with it because the people who are telling you how the world really works are lying. The billionaires aren't going to give back the bread to the children because they're making money off of it. Okay? And that goes for all the beliefs that they know. They just, in secret, they know they wearing the same hat. But they're not going to tell you that. They've always known they're wearing the same hat. Okay? They've always known that these people can never return to their God. Because when that happens, everything you see is gone. So they're always going to set these traps, even with false people that say they're somebody that they're not. Okay? Excuse me. There's always been this concept because the false Messiah was a hijacker. He was a thief. He was a robber of souls. So you're always going to be dealing with this spirit in the world. And that's why you were never meant to see. You actually have been, and this is the game, you actually glorify piracy now by watching these shows and people like, oh, Pirates of the Caribbean and all this other stuff. And this was wickedness, 100%. And you got your children dressing up like the pirate, and you don't even know it goes back to Nimrod when he was stealing the tribes to go and do his bidding. Okay? That's the issue. Now, That's why Paulo, when he talks about, like I talked about before, let me see if I can get it bigger here. I'm starting to get up there. Paulo Wasemba, and that's his name, Paulo. That's where you actually get the name Polo from, really. Because, see, I've heard people talk about, and I've heard people tell me about ancient Latin. People don't know that ancient Latin is Kikon, because we taught them how to speak. They didn't exist. We taught the Greeks how to speak. They say, oh, yeah, we invented. No, they did not. They're full of it. The Greeks got their culture from the Bantu people because they didn't know nothing like the way they talk. A lot of their knowledge was the apple. We gave them the other side. We always do this. Babylon everywhere. Okay? So they're very familiar with our culture because they know who they took, who was on all of these captivities, who even got trafficked over to the Americas in the past for other things that they did, stuff that they built over here that they did the normalizer. Oh, these buildings, they were here, they were not here. They're not here. And like when they did the World's Fair, oh yeah, these buildings, they know this is what we just put this up for the show, and they've been sitting there. Okay, lies. You were coming to restore the cities that have been knocked down and rebuilt several times by Tata nZambi. And they knew he was doing this. When he said, I cause ring kingdoms to rise and fall, okay? That's why the Bana Congo, the Bana nZambi, the Bana nZolele are always a threat to those who know the truth. And for us to know the truth, that's why they hijacked, they had the plan ready for the awakening to hijack it with the variations that they have created, the spin-offs of different things. They said, okay, Christianity ain't working no more. We're going to start this Islam thing. Okay, Islam not working no more. We're going to do the Hebrew Israelite thing. Because they could see the progression of us saying, okay, this ain't right. Boom, this ain't right. Boom. Now when we come to the Bantu truth, okay, well, they were ready for that too. Don't think they weren't. That's what the nZambi is like, hey, they're going to try to hijack everything. They know. So that's why you have to be ready for the imposters at all times. Because they had that understanding that eventually they will. Because remember, that's why they hid the book of Judas. Because Josiah went to the future. They said, oh, we can't tell people that. And he even said in the scripture, they're going to use us for a dead God. Your names are going to be used. That's why they saw they saw the future where Rome had perverted everything and the churches were defiling the supper. That's why they didn't tell the people where the Eucharist came from. Even though it was in the book of Revelation, but they don't read it to you right. That's why they don't tell you what the image of the beast is. Because they know who it is. It's Lucifer, his image. As a man, what does he look like when he's a man? Okay? That's the issue. So what they did is they flipped it and said, oh, no, if we make everything that's black wicked, then you will say the image of Satan is the black man. And so you will hate yourself. Okay? Now, Mosai did scatter Cush, and he scattered Egypt and all these others. That's why you get into conflicted things about Africa, about who's who, because where they lied about where Canaan was, okay, originally, before they moved it, okay? That's why you get into conflict, okay? So yes, the black man is the original man, but the black man caused us to have the issues where now everything is upside down because we disobeyed the Most High. But the white man comes from the black man. But they won't tell you that. Okay? Because the Most High got ticked off. Okay, you want to serve these wicked demons? Go right ahead. You're not going to you're not going to be me. Okay? So what Paula was saying, Paula wasemba BC ng Galatia, Waso. Okay, so I'm going to skip down. Engwa yeno lubisi ng Galatia, babuze ngi nani, waluvandisi kwa meso, menan Yesu Kristu. That's how we said it. Not no Isos Christos. They know the difference. They're not the same. With Wateka, Sanukwa, Bonso, Wakomwa, Vakulunsi. So he's talking about, once again, the bewitching thing, the problem. So here's what's going on today. That they have used the media and all the other people in this time to hide. So you're seeing all of these natural disasters going on. You're seeing all of these things, and they did it exactly like before, when they had to explain to the Egyptians, well, here's what's going on. Oh yeah, this and this and that. Okay, oh Pharaoh, explain this to me. Okay, but because you don't know that you're an Egyptian, okay, this is why you don't get it. Because they have convinced a certain group of people that you are saved through the Messiah, they're not going to tell you you're really worshiping the Egyptian gods who carried these names. Okay? Because the devil was trying to trick people that the Messiah already came. Because they were looking, see, many of the Abafundi, they were actually pulling from Hanok. Even Yesaiah was taking from Hanukkah. But they don't want to tell you that. That's why all of the scriptures where Hanukkah is referenced, they took it out. Because they did say it. Hey, like Hanukkah, he prophesied this and this. No, take that out of there. Because then you would get it. Hanukkah wasn't talking about any Gentiles in the future. And they know that. He was specifically calling a specific group. Okay, and it had nothing to do. He even showed in the teachings that they changed it, they modified it, that he saw the nations go against these people. Okay, that's why he's not allowed to be taught, because they fear him and fear what he would do and fear what he would bring, because he would expose the liars, because he judged them. He judged all of the fallen angels. He judged all of the wicked beings. He judged all of them. Boom. The Most High said, pass judgment. So him coming back is a problem. So what they didn't want you to tell you was, when he would show up, he's against all of the religions. Eliah the same way. Okay? You are witnessing when Eliah, the spirit of Eliah fell on Kimbangu, okay, he was showing the people, these people worship the wrong gods. Well, that's why they didn't like him. They're like, you can't tell them that. Okay? These missionaries, these colonizers, they're not talking to the creator, okay? No, you can't tell them that. Why? Because we are donkeys. We are the golden goose. We are the cash cow. We are the retirement fund. We are their golden egg, the parachute that they're talking about. Because everything that the Most High gave to the Bana Betu, the Tata nZambi's people, he said, okay, you don't want it, they can have it. And now they're fighting. That's why they're fighting over it like dogs fight, okay? Oh, give me my share. Oh, give me my share. Oh, no, you give me my share. And those are the wars. They're fighting over it like cats and dogs. They're scrapping. And they're sending their people to spy on you, and I'm spying on you, and I'm spying on you. No, I caught you spying on me. No, that's mine. No, you can't have this. This is ours. They're scrapping over the inheritance. Okay? And that's when they divided it up. So at the top, they're like wolves fighting over what? The carcass, the dead body. Who? Us. We are the dead body because we fell asleep. They're fighting over. That's why they've tearing us apart. The sheep, right? These are the good sheep. Oh no, we tearing them apart, okay? And don't let them come back together because we fighting over we're scrapping over their stuff. Okay, so they made us scrapping, and they got us down here fighting and clawing for our success, while they standing up there trying to divide the cake. Okay, you get a piece of the cake. No, that's not. I want a bigger piece than that. Just like that, and they actually code these things. We're going for that piece of that cake, and give me that slice right there. No, I'm gonna shoot. Okay, call in the army. Blow them up. I want a bigger piece. Okay, this is what they're fighting over. Oh, let's go talk to China. Okay, we want this bigger piece. Why do you think they're over there? They know. The United States is scrapping with Russia and China over the piece of the cake. No, that's our piece. We already took it. No, we're getting it back. Okay? But they making you think that they buddy-buddy. When they got our people giving them, okay, we give you a little piece here, we give you a little piece here, hook us up. And Tata nZambi looking like, what are you doing? Okay? Especially the people who come from us, the Bana Betu leaders. And this is where they got the people that are in there that you don't even notice aren't the same, working under the radar. Keep these people scrapping so we get the peace. So they keep us in a state of anger, not only using their people, but ours. Hey, keep them distracted while we stealing this stuff. Everything's about a distraction. Oh yeah, go watch the TV show, go watch the video game, go watch the football game, go watch this while we robbing you. Go play soccer, go do these things. And Tata nZambi look at you like, do y'all not see this? They robbing you blind, okay? But he said he would let that happen because we did not want to be his no more. So he said, let them eat you to pieces. Let them do whatever they want because you said no. So you're going to be like them, scrapping, like how they were. Okay? Now, let's go deeper. Because they know the world was turned over to this joker. For the Esau is the end of the world, and Yakubi is the beginning of it that followeth. Remember Esau's blessing. You must scrap for everything that okay? You got the fat of the land, but you're gonna have to fight for it. Well, yeah, look what's going on. Hello? But don't give it back to my brother Yakubi. Hex, no, man. You can't do that. Let him keep fighting like me. Ha ha. When he was a black man, light skin. So that's why I said, be very careful what Messiah figure you think, just because they gave you the white Jesus don't mean the black one can't show up an imposter. Nimrod was black. So was Tammuz. But see, they didn't just say, oh, what? What? They caught him. What? How did they know? They catch on. You catch on. They're like, hey, wait a minute. They ain't supposed to know that. We stealing over here for our master. Whether what complexion he looked like to them, they know the original history. They know that nZambi turned him into a leper, like I told you. They put it in the movie, 10,000 BC. He got the mask on. That's why he got the umbrella. See? The Umbrella Corporation. Yeah, they poisoned it. Everything they doing like the Batman and the Joker with the factory with all, yeah, put some in the water and put some in the makeup and put some in the food. Oh, but by themselves, they don't do nothing, but put them together. Joker! And oh, they got the Batman trying to stop him when the Batman is just as wicked as he is. Dark inside, because he was a demon that they worship. Get it, playing with your head, giving you all these superheroes and they wicked. Hey, man. They were wicked. They were their gods. Dun, 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 dun. No one had the good gods and the bad gods. They replaying it in the superheroes. And that's how they brought back the good gods and the bad gods that you used to worship in Egypt. So they don't tell the Christians, oh yeah, these superheroes here, those are still your gods. What? No. Batman and them, yes. Superman is Tammuz. The sun god, Sol Invictus. Da, 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 da. Got the music playing. Don't even know. The music they play for the circus is what they used to bring in the gladiators to. And they come in to kill black brown people. Yay! No! Okay, with the thumbs up and thumbs down mess. Okay? And that's why you don't understand that all of these events, the factories, the tornadoes, the hurricanes, the floods, because Pharaoh keeps saying, we ain't letting nobody go. Oh yeah, okay, I'm gonna keep bringing it. It's gonna intensify. I told people, they keep us, he gonna keep bringing it. And they now they're doing make brick without straw. Why do you think life is getting so hard? Because they don't know. But they calling it, oh, inflation, or they calling it, yeah, because now going to be the Hunger Games. The famine is coming. Oh, we're not letting nobody go. Okay. All the plagues of Egypt and more are going to continue. But they're going to mask it as other things, oh, NWO, whatever, left behind and all this other mess. But then they're going to tell you what this is. Okay? That's why when you see us talking and trying to show you that there's a lot of things that you think, they're not true. And I'm going to give you an example. Let's go to this scripture where it talks about Isaiah. Behold, I have created the craftsman who fans the coals into flame and forges a weapon to fit for its task. And I have created the destroyer to wreak havoc. This is the future blessings for Zioni. So he's telling you, I am wrecking the havoc. But then he also says, no weapon formed against you shall prosper, and you will refute every tongue that accuses you. This is the heritage of the servants of Tata nZambi, and their vindication is from me, declares Tata nZambi. So what he's saying is, no matter what Nobody going to touch you. And you're going to be vindicated for trying to restore the kingdom and our sheep, okay? And of course, but you cannot be, and the Christians make it very clear, a worker of iniquity or an imposter. Don't be like what he said, talking about Matthew 24. See, the Christians did, oh, Matthew 24. Well, his name wasn't even Matthew. Cling! Bippity boppity. Oh, John said, bing, bippity boppity. His name wasn't even John. Okay? Oh, Jesus said, bing, his name wasn't even Jesus. Now, I mean, if you call him that because you don't know, but if you know, like I said, you know the spirit, if you know he's Congo, that's one thing. If you know he in Congo, then you way off, you bald. Okay? If you think, like I said, Matthew is written in the third person, meaning they changed some things, like what he was doing between the time he was a child to when he was an adult. Where it happened there? Oh, we don't know. Okay, then you don't know him. He would tell you, I was doing this and that. Okay. Then they say, oh, what he did, we couldn't even write it down. It's too big. Oh, but the Bible has all. What? It tells you in John 21:25, we couldn't write it all down. Mayamona knew that. He knew something. That's why he went looking for the stuff. Oh, you can't teach that when he went to the Jehovah's Witness, okay? That's why they really got in trouble, because they were actually helping him, and they said, you can't do that. That man's going to take us down. And then he went into the Vatican, and he said, okay, all right. He got in trouble for teaching what we weren't supposed to know. No, this is not good. You need to stay Esau. You need to stay Baal worship. So he was like Eliah, battling against the prophets of Baal. So all of the religious churches that out here, you don't get it. We are like Eliah, telling you, what are you doing? You don't know what you worship. When we say no, okay, now watch this. I'm going to show you something. When he says no weapon formed against you shall prosper. Now, the king he's talking about in this is, of course, the wicked one. We're going to skip up a little bit. The old woman had to pay for the zeal for the faith of her life. Nevertheless, let me go back a little bit more. The rumors of the words and deeds of the old woman reached the king, and he sent for her. When she appeared before him and rebuked her harshly, asking her how she dared serve any god but himself, how she dared serve any god but himself. This is where the Pharaohs started to pick up on this, and other people like that. The old woman cried, thou art a liar. Thou deniest the essence of faith. He, the one only God beside whom there is no other God. So she started to listen to Abana. This was a woman. I can't remember her name. Let me see if I go back. So he was starting to talk about Tata nZambi to the people and calling Nimrod a liar. The old woman just said, if what thou say be true, who shall I serve? Serve the God of all gods. Who is that? Oh, that's the God of Christianity. You better check it, because this is who he's talking to. Because Christianos comes from Christo was his Helios. It was him. Okay? I told you it existed before. and we're talking about the Mfumu of Mfumus, that's Bakonzi and Abakonzi, right? Who had created heavens and earth, the sea, and all therein. The God of Nimrod and the God of Terah. So he's saying this is a God above him. And even the God that Nimrod was serving he was above them too. Okay? The God of the east, the west, the north, the south. Who is Nimrod the dog? Now pay attention. This is why they don't have this in there. Because this is where it comes from, the dogs and pigs. And we're going to get into that because, see, this is our problem. Yesaya, Yusuf, when he was teaching the way, he said, do not give what's righteous and holy unto dogs and pigs. So what he's saying is those who worship this God, which is where he get the connection with Anubis, all that, or the pig God, which would be what happened when the pig killed Tammuz, and they start worshiping, yes, the Savior of us, Jesus Christos. They killed him, they killed Tammuz because he was a wicked dude. Okay, he was very wicked. Okay. So, of course, his mother got angry and said, now you will worship this pig who killed my son forever. Bam. Now you're going to say, well, where is that in the Bible? Bing! They took it out. They took that out. It's in the scriptures in the heavens, for sure. The Most High got it written down. She come and tell them, you're going to worship these pig gods. It's there. That's why when they started calling Isaiah that was an insult. What? I'm not the pig god. There's no pig god over here. Because the Greeks and the Romans, they thought that he was him. That's not Tammuz. No way. Look what he's doing. You think that part wasn't in there? That's why he told the sorcerer guy who was there, telling these people, this is why there were false messiahs walking around when he was there. Oh, I can be like him. See, watch me do. Okay. Don't think there weren't imitators. They took that out too. Bling! Abracadabra. Hocus pocus. It's not in the Bible. Okay. Just like they did the same time Toko was here, Mayamona. There was some fake Mayamonas running around. When he started doing his stuff, just like Kimbangu. Oh, I can do that too. Okay. Repeats. Anytime you see somebody that demonstrates the power, you will always find a copycat. Always. Because the devil don't want people to know the difference. Now, people are going to be shocked. I don't remember that. I'm telling you. This is how we kept getting led astray. That's why they had to say, if anybody come teaching you any other Jesus, we did not teach. That's why Paul kept us said, there's always been false spirits around us, teaching us lies, pretending to be the Most High and they're not. There's always going to be an imposter everywhere. There's people who say, oh, this guy is an imposter. It's like, look, well, I ain't gonna go there. It ain't time yet. The time will come. Okay. Because my role to you as a watchman is to say, look out for the imposters. Look out for the people that's leading you astray. Look out for what happened to you. You have all of these people out here, okay, that are now happy that they have led you to the Titanic that's going down with the ship, and they're ready to do it. With Master, we're going, like Malcolm said, the Master house burning, they're going to run into the house with, remember when he said that? Okay? Master house is burning. Oh, we're going to run into the house and help Master put his house out. They still around, people. They didn't go nowhere. They still here. But see, the people don't know That's why you can't tell anybody. What is the George Washington Monument? Why do they have an obelisk of a sun god if you worshiping the real creator? Where are you at? Do you not see it? No. Bing! I see nothing. I don't see. I just see the George Washington Monument. You're in Egypt. That's what that stands for. But they ain't gonna tell you that. Ooh, boy. All I know is Jesus Christ is my Lord and Savior. All I know is Allah. All I know is whatever, Buddha, whatever you want to call on. All these things are all over the world, and you don't see it. Worshiping the phallic. Ay, Tata nZambi Pungu. The lion, the fake lion god, the imposter, he was a lion god. Tata nZambi said, watch. The real Mufasa about to break out. You're going to see the real Mufasa coming. Boom! Hey, watch. You're going to see the real Mufasa. Yeah, God's not dead. Mufasa ain't dead. Tata nZambi going to show you Mufasa not dead. You've been worshiping the imposter. All right. All right. Thou art a liar. Thou deniest the essence of faith. The only one Mfumu besides him is there no other God. Thou livest upon his bounty. Bam. Thou livest. I knew the Most High was like, read this. Where do you always get the concept of bounty? You live upon his bounty. So that's why the bounty hunters looking for the slaves. Oh, that's my money running out there. You can't go nowhere. We running away, that's my money. Hallelujah. Temple. Okay? Boy, try this. But thou payest worship to another, and thou, see, that's what he said, thou payest worship to another. Yeah, Shaitani. And thou dost repudiate him and his teachings, and Abana his servant, Abraham. The old woman had to pay for her zeal for the faith with her life. See? Whenever you speak against this world's religions, they're going to want to kill you. Look what happened with Kimbangu. Look what happened with Toko, Kempavita. Anybody who wants to do these things, this is a threat. You got to die. Look what happened when King gave up the code. Boom. You can't tell him that. Okay? Anybody who doesn't pay homage to this God, you got to go. Now, where were the exceptions? When the people were like Nehemiah, we're bringing my people up out of here. I ain't going to die here. And nKosi. And of course, Uzziah never died. But he lived again. Okay? They couldn't kill him. Okay? That's why the Most High likes to embarrass every time you think you can do this. You'll never learn. You don't control death. I do. But see, now the devil, Nimrod got crafty with it when it says they create crafty counsel. Okay, we're going to tell everybody that we're going to flip it. We're going to say that that's the Messiah, but they really talking to this guy. They got slick with it. Okay? And put it in front of you, and you don't even see. He was the Jesus Christos. Okay? Along with the idols and law repeated, the eternal, he is Mfumu. The eternal, he is Mfumu. He struck the king's idols from their thrones and began to belabor with the axe. With the bigger, he started with the smallest and ended, he hacked off the feet of one. So Abana goes and he starts destroying these idols. Okay, what does that result in? Now he want to kill him. Well, one of the things, if you keep reading on this, Read this part. I'm going to skip down. Now the king was exceedingly wroth with Abana, and he ordered him to be cast into prison, where he commanded the warden not to give him bread or water. Do you see how history, where they get it from, don't give him no bread or water? You think they just came up with this stuff on their own? They got this from him. Don't give him no bread or water. This is what the police them are doing now, back in the day. Oh, he didn't get no water. Don't give him no bread. Because they serve him. Okay? But Tata nZambi hearkened unto the prayer and sent Gabriel, the angel Gabriel, for a year. The angel dwelt with him and provided him all sorts of food. So now you got the Maleki Congo, that's what he was, feeding him. This is why Christianity is so deceived. If you are a servant of the Most High in spirit and in truth, you're not going to starve. You're not going to go hungry. The angel himself came and fed him. You think they want to put that in the Bible? No. Okay. So something. Okay. So now, so they were wondering why he didn't starve, because they're like, how did that happen? They tried to starve him to death. The angel fed him. Okay. At the end of the year, the magnates of the realm presented themselves before the king and advised to cast into the fire. Because they're like, how come this dude ain't dead yet? Might believe Nimrod forever. Therefore, the king issued a decree that all subjects of the king and all provinces, men and women, young and old, would bring wood within 40 days. This is where the actual 40 days come from for the so-called Lent. And he caused it to be, especially when because they used it when Tammuz died, 40 years of weeping, and caused it to be thrown in the great furnace instead of fire. The flames shot up to the skies, and the people were so afraid of the fire. Now the warden of the prison ordered to bring Abana forth and cast him in the flames. The warden reminded the king that Abana had not food or drink the whole year, and therefore must be dead. But Nimrod nevertheless desired him to step in front of the prison and call his name. If he may reply, he was hauled out to the pier. If he had perished, his remains would receive a burial, and his memory was be wiped out henceforth. Greatly amazed, the warden was when his cry, Abana, art thou alive? He answered within, I am living. So that must have been the shock, like, what? He's been in there for a year. How could he be alive? No way. He questioned further, who has been bringing thee food? Okay. He said, the Most High brought him the food. Okay. So watch this. The miraculous rescue of Abana from death by starvation and thirst convinced the prison keeper of the truth of the Most High and his prophet. Abana, he acknowledged his belief publicly. The king's threat of death, unless he recanted, could not turn him away from his new true faith. When the hangman raised the sword and set it to his throat to kill him, he exclaimed, the eternal Father, he is God, he is Mfumu. The Mfumu of the whole world as well as blasphemy. But the sword could not cut his flesh. Let's go back to what it says in Isaiah. No weapon formed against you will prosper. Do you see why they don't want to teach this in the church, people? You got churches getting shot up, okay? That they're claiming people, you got people in malls and all this, the schools and stuff. the Christian school, right? The harder it was pressed against his throat, the more it broke in pieces. Now, Imrod, however, was not to be turned aside from his purpose to make Bana suffer death by fire. One of the princes was dispatched. Okay, and now we know this. People who know the story, you can read it. He got thrown in there. The Maliki showed up. He didn't burn, obviously, because we're here. Okay, that's why. Okay, now fast forward to our time from the past. We are experiencing the repeat of where the Pharaoh's saying, I'm not going to do this, I'm not going to do that. And the world's suffering for it. All the Pharaohs have agreed. But because you don't know this, you don't see this happening to people. Okay? You're going to eventually get to the point where they're going to get angry. And Black people are going to become the Bantu people are going to become the target. Once many things got to get more and more revealed that they got played. Specifically, when they transitioned through this so-called event of the Messiah coming for them, when they realized they got played, it's going to be a crazy. It's going to happen too. And it's going to happen for everybody who believed in something that wasn't quite accurate because of what they changed. The only people that will be able to receive the true connection will be those who didn't get played, or who realized the real truth. Okay? And Toko talked about that. That's why he said, beware of the elders in the church who are wicked. So you have to be able to discern in every belief who's really good and who's bad, because some people are just going along and some people are like, wait a minute, time out. Something's wrong here. Okay? All right. So that's kind of when we go to the Apocalypse of Belial. He said, now watch this. Remember that he has prepared thrones and crowns for you in the Pemba Kalunga, saying, everyone who will obey me will receive thrones and crowns among those who are mine. Says Tata nZambi. I will write my name upon their forehead, and I will seal their right hand, and they will not hunger or thirst. Neither will the son of lawlessness prevail over them, nor will the thrones hinder them, but they will walk with the Maliki Congo to my city. Now, as for the sinners, they will be shamed, and they will not pass by the thrones, but the thrones of death shall seize them and rule over them, because the Malekis will not agree with them. They have alienated themselves from his dwellings. And that's why the scripture that says, not everybody who says, Lord, Lord, will enter, because the Most High knows who is working righteousness and who's working iniquity, who are the sinners, and who are trying their best to find their way home to know the Most High. Hear, O wise men of the land, concerning the deceivers who will multiply in the last times, so that they will set up down for themselves doctrines which did not belong. This is why we're trying to tell you the Bible is not completely true, because this is why they didn't put this in there. This is why we're telling you the Quran and the Torah and all these other books. They put this stuff down as a trap for people. But see, because of our captivity, many of us were like, okay, this is what we know, but we still questioned it. We questioned it, and they didn't like it. So they try to get rid of people who questioned it. You ain't supposed to question the Bible. It's the word of God. Okay, but this doesn't make any sense right here. Okay? This is why it's confusing. The Most High is not the author of confusion. He never can be. So if you are confused, that's not coming from him. All his word means something. You will have understanding. You won't be walking through life wondering what the heck's going on. Oh, I'm just going to keep my head down and do what I do. This is why they created all the distractions of the music and everything that they did with entertainment. And then you go to the church house and say, oh, hallelujah, thank you, Jesus, and all that stuff. Okay? But yet, the Bible tells you, you can't be the people. It has to be the ones that come from the lineage and not the others. It cannot be anybody, but that's why he says salvation, the only people who can be running the assemblies are my people, because everybody else comes from the worship of these other gods that we were not supposed to. Even the converts, they were still worshiping Tammuz. Think they won't? Yes, they were. That's why they had the Talmud. Okay? They take this stuff out all the time, people. That's why he said they will set down for themselves doctrines, setting aside the law of Tata nZambi, those who have made their belly their God, saying the fast does not exist. This is why, okay, they don't do this stuff. They always out there eating after Sunday. Okay, they eating all kind of food, the king's meat. They don't even know. Okay, you out there just gorging on whatever you want to eat. Oh, I know God, feeling good about yourself. Never fast. Oh, the fast is just if you need to. Don't even do the Daniel fast right, because that's not how it went. Not even close. Okay? He was trying not to eat the king's meat. So he said, I'm just going to eat, drink some water, whatever. They force-fed him that. Because they were trying to make him eat the king's meat. Now they force-feeding you eating the king's meat willingly. All right? Making themselves strangers to the covenant, robbing themselves of the glorious promise. And he's really talking about the fact that he knew our people would be doing this with the heathens. That's why he said, if you go back, he says, remember that Tata nZambi, who created everything, have mercy upon you, so he might save us from the captivity of this age. What age? Bam. He knew that this was Esau's age. Okay? He knew it. Because I told you, there's only two kingdoms, the Most High or the devils. And Esau is above Nimrod because he killed him. Okay? So he's the dominion king in Shaitani's kingdom because he hates Yakubi the most. So like I said, it ain't about a color always. It's about a spirit. Anybody can be Esau if you're not paying attention. Because if you're not walking in the way of Tata nZambi and Pungu in spirit and in truth, which is to do the Bantu Bendwe, like the King Gunza, like we talked about, then you are doing his way. And this is what he made us think the laws, like Elia just said, that the law does not exist. But then at the same time, he also made people who think the law that exists, you must condemn, condemnation. Or these people who think they have the law, they ain't got nothing to do with it. Never given to them. Okay? That's why Yusa Malongi and those who know the way of the Most High, Malongi, okay, it's very important. Because not everybody knows everything. Paulo said that. There are those who know more, and there are those who know less. But the point is, the Most High can give information to whom he chooses. Okay? So now, that's why they don't want us to connect to Mount Sioni. And they told us to forget this place when they kicked us out. Don't ever think about it ever again. Because they understood what they were doing. I'm almost finished. So then we go clearly to the book of Hanoka, when he says, get there. I'm going to read it again. Let's go to page, the Watchers. He knew that there was going to be no pre-tribulation. The words of the blessings of Hanoka wherewith he blessed the elect. And I actually found out this word is the name of a demon. But that's what they do. I was looking through this thing and I'm like, oh man, they just changed it from an E to an A to an E. And the righteous who will be living in the days of tribulation. In the days of tribulation. You're in it now. When all the wicked and godless are to be removed. So where is this is why they don't teach it. They want to teach this pre-tribulation gospel. I'm going to say garbage because it really is. Because the Most High is going to remove the wicked first, because this is his land. This is his world. And renew it. Okay? So they have tricked the godless and the wicked who are worshiping the false god. Oh, no, you're going to be first, and you're not going to be in the tribulation. When they really don't know, I know where they're going, but they ain't going to like it. Okay? They coded these things in different ways where they mixed up what Paul said in Revelations when it talks about beheaded for his name. You don't even know what that's about. The mark of the beast stuff, some of them people already got it, okay? Okay. All right. And Hanaka the righteous whose eyes were opened by Tata nZambi. What does it mean his eyes were open? That means the Most High started to show you, like he did in those days, hey, look at this. This is all wrong. Same like what he's been doing with us. Hey, this is all wrong. It's backwards. I saw the vision of the Holy One in the Pemakalunga, heavens, which he had, because at different levels we now understand, which the Maliki Congo showed me, and from them I heard everything, and from them I understood as I saw. But not for this generation, but for a remote one which is far to come, So this is what I try to tell people. You think they didn't know the future. They knew, they took it, because remember, he brought the people together. He's prophesying these things to them and teaching them. You think that the wicked one wasn't trying to get in on the conversation? Okay? He prophesied this stuff, and now they try to go to the finish line and put all of these stumbling blocks for the last 500 plus years for the ones who would be the chosen and mess it up. Okay? And the eternal Tata nZambi will tread upon the earth, even on Mount, it's Kenya. This is actually the wrong one. and will appear. So that's what I'm telling you. People on Mount Kenya about to see him treading, and he's going to be on Mount Sioni too. Appear the strength of his might from the heavens of heavens. And it shall be, and all shall be smitten with fear, and the watchers shall quake, and great fear and trembling will seize upon the ends of the earth. Yeah. So you know, man, I saw people telling me all this stuff about who's sitting where, who's running what. Do you see anybody trembling yet? When it comes time for the Most High to do his thing, Quatulendo, the nZambi Quatulendo, okay? They're going to be shaking in China. They're going to be shaking in Japan. They're going to be shaking in America. They're going to be shaking in England. They're going to be shaking all over the place. Okay? They're going to be going crazy. Oh, my God. Run. Where can I hide? Run. Okay? He's coming. He's coming. Oh, my God. Okay? People have been deceived by so many things. Quatulendo is going to make the world shake. Oh, it's already starting to build because he's telling them, I want my people back. No, can't have them. You harden in the heart. Same problem. But see, they don't know that. Oh, the world don't know. So this is what's going on. See, the news said, oh, yeah. The news said this. Oh, yeah, this is what happened. Oh, the train went off the tracks, but you're in a tribulation period. Okay? The high mountains will be shaken. This is the movie 2012, people. The building falling down, okay? And he even talking about when he said the high mountains, he could see the buildings. They look like mountains, okay? And shall be made low, and shall melt like wax and flame, and the earth shall be wholly rent asunder. Rent means like they do with they show the earthquake, wow, 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 wow. Things falling down, boom. Sky just on fire. Boy, you're gonna see them some stuff coming down on the sky, boy. I'm telling you. And the earth shall be wholly rent, and all upon the earth shall perish, and all upon the earth, and that is upon and it said, and all that is upon the earth shall perish, and there shall be judgment upon all. But the righteous will make peace, and will protect. This is again, he's saying he knew what happened in the days of Noah with the flood, but then he's seeing, like Toko talked about, the Ark Mwanda, okay? And this is what people don't get. You see, they took this out because they knew they created a world of wickedness. And they messed up everything and taught it backwards and made you believe in something that wasn't true. We rejected, the people rejected the Creator. We rejected the Messiah figure. We rejected the way of the Most High. Now you have wrath on you continually. But they've disguised it through science. The whole purpose of creating the science that they made today, let me break it down. Let me break it down. The whole purpose of the scientific world that they made today is to explain Tata nZambi's wrath. They can't tell you the Most High is jacking you up, so they got to come up with excuses. They can't tell you they're trying to break the firmament, so they got to tell you we're going into outer space and we're going to go searching for Mars and this place. So they made it all up. So you would believe, abracadabra, bling, we're going to the moon. Abracadabra, bling, we're doing it. Oh, we're going out to these different, we're going to go put a Voyager out here. Because they can't tell the sheeple. We trying to kill the person, the creator you're supposed to be praying to. Our Father who art in heaven. No, man. They're trying to take him out. Like what happened with with Nimrod. Oh, SpaceX, we're gonna have the strongest rocket. Poof, poof. But they're gonna see you, they're gonna see you. Oh, it's going. No, it hit the firmament and came back down. They do the CGI. nZambi. Whee! Okay. They trying to break that firmament because he come in, man. The watchers are like, he's coming. We gotta do something now. Make it happen. Do it. He's coming now. Oh, but we can't tell you, oh yeah, just go vote for the president. Oh yeah, just go listen to the music. Oh, go watch the football games. Go pay attention to the draft and all these different things. Go gambling. Go chill with the in Sin City. Go on a cruise. Go get married and do these things. Go have the birthday party. That's what Yesaiah is saying in Matthew 24. Like in the days of Noah, they're gonna go just hanging out, do whatever. Until, bam, out of nowhere. What? We all did. This is what they really mean. Like in the days of Noah, one going to be, ooh, man. That's why they took out 2nd Ezra that says, woe unto those that are left behind, but much more woe to those that are taken. Because, yeah, you're going to see a mess. But the people they take, they ain't going where you think they're going. I guarantee you that. I already know they did it on iPad Go too. You would have got with the barcode on your head and the goat eyes. Because that's the people who were worshiping the goat god and didn't know it. Okay? Because that's what you are. Moloch is your god. And he's affiliated with the goat god. You believe these people. Now you're going to be the goats. Hypnotized. And you still are. All the world is these hypnotized ghosts. Praying to the wrong God. Oh, Lord Jesus, God, hello. Okay, that's the goat god. We've been played. Like Malcolm said, you've been bamboozled. You've been hoodwinked, run amok, led astray. And then he was telling to go to, man. He was still not giving the full truth. Okay? They know who King Congo is. That's why they're mocking him on Hollywood all the time. From 1933. Okay? When the stock market crashed, who was responsible for that? The Hunger Games was going on even then. Okay? That was a taste. You think that was bad? Oh, boy. Wait till you see. All right. Nsambololo, Zola Quigley, Wezi Yable Congo Kutwala, Ingeta, Bana Betu. Like I said, prepare now. This past month, and I watched it, all of the stuff that they were doing in Tennessee and Nashville, and all of the stuff that happened with the Easter, they showed all these satanic things that happened with the Easter stuff, and they were showing all these things that's been going on with the Defiance, and they even showing what's going on over in Israel with the Christian people. And I try to tell them, okay, The Most High is going to draw the line where he says, okay, you want to stay with them? Stay there. We out. You don't realize that I'm coming to take you out of the burning house and remove you from the powder keg, and you're going to go down with the Titanic? Goodbye. This is what happened back when they took out the book of Jasher. That's why they did that, where it says, those who didn't realize it was their salvation, peace out. We out of here. You gone. You could perish with them. That's on you. Because see, they played us. And they got our people helping us get played. I'm like, okay, fine. They want to get mad at me and keep sending their negative me on my way. That's great. The Most High is like, just let them keep doing it. Let them keep doing it. Let them keep talking the mess. When the wake-up call going to hit, they ain't going to see it coming. The Maliki Congo like, hey, they don't know who they messing with. Let them keep thinking that all of this stuff that they keep doing is going to save them. They're going down with the ship. Let them be there. The bounty was us. We the bounty. That's what we call the booty, the money, the golden egg. We had all the gold, the El Dorado, Cibola. Okay? Because anywhere we stepped the foot, the land became blessed. So they're like, oh, we got to take that. Bilaka. Okay? You know, like I said, people, there's no more time. If you don't see it, it's already starting to rock people. People losing their house, their car, their money, everything. The dollar. The war is going to hit. Better believe that. They already ramping it up. They instigating because they know they're trying to stop us by giving you these excuses. Oh, yeah, China here, this and that. When it's the replay of what happened to Babylon from Jeremiah 50. And they know. But now it's on a bigger scale. Welcome to the repeat. Going down, peace out. And they really think the eagle's going to come back like the Most High is like, strong delusion. Yeah, you coming back after this fight. They really think they have a time they're going to recover. Go right ahead and say that. They think so. They can hear me saying it too. It ain't going to happen. Once the nZambi pull the plug, it's over. The plug is pulled. He's sending them all kind of delusion. Oh, yeah, you're going to build this city. Oh, yeah, you're going to look. Oh, yeah, you're going to have all these things going up. Oh, you're going to look good. Yeah. Aha. Watch. That nZambi can send anybody a strong delusion. Oh, yeah, this is coming. This is coming. Oh, yeah, it's going to be good. Oh, yeah, the phoenix is going to rise. He loves to play with them because they don't get it. And they play with our lives for far too long. They've been playing the game. Dangling the carrot, donkey and the mule. When they mocked us in the movie, that's what I'm saying. Go look at that one where you said you let them call you donkey when you are ape. And they know they were trying to say. You will let them call you donkey when you are Bakongo. Because they call Congo the ape. That's what it should have said in the line, but they're not going to tell you that. You've been on nZambi. You let them call you donkey when you're been on nZambi, when you're Bakongo. That's why they say King Kong is dead in that movie. Nobody caught it. King Kong is dead. Okay? All right. Sambalolo. Ingita.